Hello friends. In today's lecture, we will be discussing about the type of transactions which take place in the foreign exchange market. And as in the last lecture, we have discussed that there can be two type of transaction with respect to foreign currency. Buying of foreign currency, another can be the selling of foreign currency. But when we take up buying of foreign currency, then for calculation of buying foreign currency, it could be done in two ways. Whether it is the TT buying or bill buying. TT means telegraphic transfer, which will be discussed in today's lecture. And in selling also, we will have TT selling as well as the bill selling. But in today's lecture, we will be discussing about the TT buying rate.
Yesterday, I told you that today we will take up types of transaction. And in that respect, I said one transaction is known as purchase transaction and the other is sales or sale transaction. That means in purchase, we have to buy. So you can say the buying rate will be quoted, and in sale, we have to sell. So we can say selling rate has to be quoted. So today we take up the first one, that is purchase. Purchase transaction, and under that we will take up buying rate. Achha. Then listen very carefully. Again, I am saying. First of all, we take up buying transaction. Types of buying transaction. Types of buying transaction. That means there will be two situations. There will be two situations, I can say. Customer approached the bank. Listen, number one. Customer approached the bank for. Now, one thing more. When we say buying transaction, that means not from the point of view of customer. Buying means from the point of view of bank. I always said that you are supposed to consider yourself as bank. So buying rate will be given by the bank only. That means the base rate will be given by the interbank market, but that will become as the buying rate. So I can take a situation. A customer approached the bank for selling a foreign currency. Right. That means bank has to give the buying rate to the customer. See, if the transaction take place, whether of buying or selling, in terms of cash or in terms of that currency, which is highly liquid, then there is no delay in that type of transaction. That means a customer approach for the transaction, ask the bank to quote the rate, the bank quote the rate, the deal is matured, the payment is made in terms of home currency, and foreign currency will be received. That means there is no delay. But there could be a delay if the transaction is going to make the involvement of handling of documents. Now listen carefully what I mean by handling of documents. Suppose an exporter is there who is not able to get the payment, but he is expected to receive the payment in future. Against the expectation of receiving the payment in future, he is holding a credit note that is known as letter of credit. So the importer has written a letter of credit which is being holded by the exporter. An exporter is holding that LC, letter of credit, in expectation that payment will be received from the importer on the due date of the letter of credit. But this exporter want to sell it because he have the acute requirement of cash. He will approach the bank for selling the LC, letter of credit. Bank will find out, or the bank will verify that whether letter of credit issued by the importer is genuine or not. If the bank finds LC is genuine, bank may be interested in purchasing that LC from the customer. The bank will quote the rate. But bank is also aware that this LC is going to mature only after few months. That means bank has to hold that LC till the maturity of that LC. Suppose the LC was supposed to get matured after 2 months. That means bank will purchase the LC, but the payment the bank is going to receive from the importer only after 2 months. So for 2 months, the bank is going to hold that LC in their possession. And when the LC is going to mature, then the payment will be received by the bank. But the exporter need the money today only. So what the bank will do? Bank will try to forecast. Bank will try to forecast the rate of foreign currency after 2 months. And then the rate will be quoted to the customer. If the customer agrees, then cash will be disbursed from the bank to the customer and LC will be disbursed from the customer to the bank. Bank will hold the LC, wait till the maturity, and then bank will receive the payment from the importer. This will be the full type of transaction. That means I have told you just now that under buying transaction or any type of transaction, either you can say buying also or selling also. Under foreign currency, either there will be holding of documents, but if the transaction is going to make the involvement of holding of transaction, then there will be delay in settlement. But if we are talking about those documents, where there is no delay, the instrument itself is a liquid, Like we can say bank draft, demand draft that we can say, or we can say when RTGS is there, electronic transfer of money is there, then in such transactions there is no delay. So when under those transactions there is no delay, in settlement of the deal, those type of transaction is called as TT. Means the rate available under those transactions where there is no delay, such rate will be known as TT buying rate. TT means telegraphic transfer. In short, we say as TT. So if the transaction of buying is under the telegraphic transfer, there is no delay. So all those modes which involve no delay in payment, they will be quoting the TT buying rate. And where there will be some delay of a week, of a month, of a 2 month, those transactions will be called as bill transaction. And here will be called as bill buying rate will be given. So when we will take up the other two, that means type of selling transaction, then here there also we will have the same thing. So we will take up two type of buying and two type of selling transaction. But under the two type of buying, there will be TT buying and bill buying. And under sales also, there will be TT selling and bill selling. Where delay in payment will be there, it will be for TT. No delay by the bank is allowed for foreign currency. This is regarding the TT. I told you regarding TT. Just try to read. See, any purchase transaction where there is no delay by the bank in realization of foreign currency. That means the bank is buying the foreign currency. I always said that you are supposed to consider yourself as bank. So bank is buying that there is no delay is involved by the bank in realization of foreign currency will be considered as TT buying. That means the customer approach for selling, and bank is able to get the foreign currency immediately. The rate will be quoted by the bank and the customer will able to get the home currency. That means the buying rate is applied when the Nostro account of the bank will immediately be credited. Nostro account means when a home bank is maintaining a foreign account is Nostro account, and credited means the bank is able to get the deposit. The bank is able to get the deposit of foreign currency in their account. Then we say the Nostro account has been credited. Immediately word is important here. Immediately. That means there is no delay. And here also I said there is no delay. Bank is able to get realization of foreign currency. And again, this telegraphic transfer involves the payment of demand draft, telegraphic transfer, electronic mail transfer. These are the few examples. This means all such transactions where there will be no delay, that will come under telegraphic transfer. And as the last which I have written, it has been not saved. I said that we will be having purchase and sale, and in both we will have TT buying and bill buying, TT selling and bill selling. In purchase transaction, we will have TT buying and bill buying. And while we will discuss about the sale transaction, we will have TT selling and bill selling rate. So today I am discussing only about purchase transaction, and in purchase transaction also I am discussing only about TT buying. And in the TT buying, I said we are going to have no delay in receiving the foreign currency. We means bank, I means bank, not having any delay. Now, how the calculation will be done? This thing you have to keep in mind. That means there is a very easy format that we have to follow. As I already said, we have to take the situation that the customer approached the bank for selling the foreign currency and bank is buying the foreign currency. The bank has to give the buying rate of foreign currency to the customer. And this will be the format that you have to make two columns. One will be of particular, another can be of amount. Under the particular column, you can write first USD oblique INR. Always remember, this is the way of writing. As the currency, as the foreign currency is USD, so USD will be there, and home currency is Indian rupee, INR will be there. It is the buying, so buying word has to be there. One more thing, USD oblique INR means 1 unit of USD equal to number of units of INR. That means this is the way of representing the direct quotation. Always that currency which is having higher value will be kept on the left hand side and lower value on the right hand. Means if we talk about the euro, then we have to write euro oblique USD, because euro is having the higher value than USD, right? So it is a buying rate, it is a buying transaction, so this will be the rate, and there is no delay, so that is why spot rate, the rate after 2 days. I said earlier that maximum we will be using the spot rate and the forward rate, and whatever will happen to the spot rate only. Spot rate, you can also say it is a base rate. Spot rate is a base rate which has been quoted by the interbank market. So USD oblique rupees, market spot buying rate. Market spot buying rate. This will be the rate. INR rupees itna itna itna. Less exchange margin. I told you exchange margin is basically the charges of the bank itself, which include the cost of expenses, expectation of profit, and risk bearing cost. These three will be engaged, will be involved in exchange margin. So this exchange margin we have to minus. देखिए, bank is buying. So what did the bank will do? Bank will follow one rule. Buy low and sell high. Bank will follow one rule: buy low, sell high. That means the difference between the buying and selling will be a commission for the bank, will be the profit for the bank. It will purchase at 72 but try to sell at 73. 1 rupee will be the profit between the two transactions by the bank only. So bank buy low. This is the rate quoted by the interbank market. So bank has to reduce this rate. That is why the exchange margin has to be deducted. When we will deduct the exchange margin, then only the rate will become low buy. And whatever we get, that will be the rate quoted to the customer, which is called as TT buying rate. That means TT buying rate will be quoted to the customer. So this is the base rate or the spot rate. On a spot rate, we have loaded the exchange margin. On spot rate, we have always loaded we load the exchange margin to get the TT buying rate. And whatever the rate that we get, we try to round off that rate in the multiple of 0.0025, which we have discussed yesterday. This is the clear format. This is the clear format that we follow for TT buying rate. As there is no handling of document, so forward margin will not be applicable. Forward margin, as I told you yesterday, it is an interest differential. That means interest between the two banks. So interest will be gained by the bank only if there is some gap. And as there is no gap, so there will be no interest, no consideration of interest. So that is why we can say that we are having no forward margin in case of TT buying. That means forward margin will always be there in selling, not in buying. Or we can say in bill, we can say not in selling. In bill, there will be forward margin. In TT, there will not be any forward margin. So this is the format that we have to follow.
So in today's lecture, we have discussed the theory concept of TT buying rate. In the next lecture, we will be taking up more understanding about the TT buying rate with respect to few examples, or we can say as numericals. Thank you.